Okay, it's been a while since I've made a video, but we don't need to talk about that. Anyway, but I had the idea to make this video because I was looking through my old videos and saw I made a video talking about like all of my original characters, and I realized I have quite a few more original characters since then. So I've decided to kind of like make a remake of that video. So I'll leave a link somewhere, I don't know, to the old video. So you could either watch the old video now or watch it right after. So basically I'm just going to be talking about the main characters and kind of like each character's story, but kind of summed up. So let's do it already. So we got the first story that I ever created, which I'm assuming a good amount of you know, which the story is called Amy's Adventure into the Unknown. And surprise, the main character is Amy. So if you don't know, I have tried to like make a little animated like story thingy, and I've posted it on my channel before, but I kind of took a long break of that, and I've kind of just been reimagining her story. But basically the kind of premise is this girl, she kind of goes into a portal and goes into another planet, and this planet is located in the middle of the universe, and she's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And basically the plot is kind of like there's a king that lives on that planet because it's like in the middle of the universe, and basically this king is taking over like all the planets, and he's like almost done with taking over all the planets in the whole entire universe. How's that possible, you may ask? Well, he comes from a long line of royalty, so he didn't have much work left to do. So basically the only planet he had left to take over was Earth. So how wonderful. So Amy and the other main characters have to try to stop him, and they kind of meet like a bunch of other characters along the way, including my beloved child Chester. So that's kind of like the summed up version, but I do need to like kind of reimagine the story because the plot gets lost like a lot, and you can tell that Chester is my favorite. I need to work on the other characters because I kind of neglect them, especially Amy. So I kind of have to like make it interesting with like still keeping the plot but building the other characters at the same time. So yeah, that's something I need to work on, but it's kind of hard to when I have 10 stories that I think about. And yes, I will be going over 10 main characters in this video because I have 10 stories, but out of those 10 we have got one down. So that's Amy's Adventure into the Unknown. So next up is a story called The Deck, because the story is revolving around kind of like casinos and like cards, like playing cards. So it's like a deck of cards, so yeah. So the main character is Dice. I don't think that's his for real name, but like he was an orphan, so nobody really knew his actual name. Not really sure who gave him that name, but like it's not really that important. So this story has kind of like a loose premise because it's basically like a slice of life story, and a bunch of just like kind of random human stuff happens, you know? There's no magic in here whatsoever, but in the background, something a little depressing is happening. How wonderful. Because Dice is a very happy-go-lucky guy, but silently struggling with depression. And he doesn't even know it either, because this little dude, I feel like he'd probably struggle with abandonment issues or something, and he only has 3 friends or whatever, and he's kind of scared that those friends are gonna leave him once he finds out that like his friends have friends, and he's like, why did that never occur to me that like my friends don't just have me as a friend? So I'm thinking the story kind of explores like Dice's friends or whatever, but in the background Dice is kind of just alone, and it also doesn't help that his adoptive parents aren't the kindest people in the world. But Dice still tries to be optimistic, and as long as he has his friends by his side, he can do anything. Oh, and one little random thing I forgot to mention, he's albino, so yeah. If you don't know what that is, it's like a lack of pigment in your skin, so that's why he appears the color he is. There's people like that in real life, but like probably not to this extreme. You know, I just made him like really white. I know people that are albino are probably not like that, but whatever, it's a cartoon. So yeah, there's a lot more to this story, but that's just kind of the basic rundown of this. So that was the summed up version of The Deck, this was Dice, and next story. So this next story is called B.S.B Escape. Let me repeat, that's B, like the letter B, and then the letter S, and then B, and then escape, okay? Sometimes if I say it fast, people are like, what the heck did you just say? So basically, this story kind of evolves around this character called Funny Bunny. He is a robot with feelings. How original. I'm not really sure how that happened, but whatever. But basically, like the premise of the story, there's these 3 characters that are kind of forced to work in this place called B.S.B Escape. So their job is to kind of scare people. It's kind of like a haunted house thing / freak show / everything. I'm thinking this takes place at like a carnival or something, and B.S.B Escape is just one of the like the little stations. So there's probably a lot of other creatures that Funny Bunny doesn't even even know exists because he's not allowed to leave. And there's like a little ringmaster kind of controlling this whole thing. And Funny Bunny is just a little scared boy. And I'm thinking like Funny Bunny is like programmed to have two modes. There's like his original, like his actual personality, and then you can press this button to make him a little scary. So scary, in fact, that his friends that normally are the ones scaring him, his friends get scared by this other mode. So this is kind of ironic because like the story is kind of like B.S.B Escape, where like the people who pay to go in kind of have to like escape from them. Like it's fun, like no one dies or anything. But it's ironic because the people that are like kind of scaring the other people are the ones who are wanting to escape but can't. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been thinking about the story too much, but I have added a decent amount of characters. And I feel like playing around with the character Funny Bunny will be interesting because he's like such like a interesting character in the sense of he doesn't want to hurt anybody, but like when he gets put in this other mode, like he can basically kill people. So wonderful. Anyways, so that was the story B.S.B Escape and the main character Funny Bunny. So now we got Jessie from The Tale of Jessie. If you don't already know, I have already made a video about him, so I'll just leave a link to it because I don't really feel like kind of just explaining it over again, but I will do like the quickest summary in the world. Basically, just Jessie. I've said that before. I feel like I've said that in a video. Jessie is a jester and he's a prince. And in the universe, you kind of have to be forced to be an entertainer, either jester, clown, or mime. But basically, Jessie doesn't want to be forced anymore. And basically, the main characters are trying to make it that like the whole civilization doesn't have to be forced to do that. But you know, there's 3 kings. I'm not sure what's with me and kings, but that makes it harder to get that goal. So yeah, I feel like it would be an interesting concept for this little 12-year-old boy that he looks 7, but to be going through all this stuff, because I don't know, I feel like he would experience some traumatizing things, and it'd be interesting to see how he would grow up considering the stuff he has seen, like death, for example. He has witnessed a few characters dying, and I feel like for most of the story he would be like a little kid, but I'm thinking like towards the end or something, he gets like a growth spurt and he's like, oh my gosh, you're not a child anymore, you're grown up. Sorry, I'm not really going into his story. It's because I've already made a whole freaking video and I just don't want to repeat myself. It would just be better if you watched the video. So I'm just gonna ramble about stuff that's related to the story and stuff that I didn't really necessarily say before. At the time of me making this video, I'm trying to like figure out like one of the characters' dead end so I can like make another video kind of like the antagonist, but I'm not sure. But basically, I'm working on some character designs so I can make like a similar video, like a part 2. Anyways, that was Jessie from The Tale of Jessie. Okay, this next one I haven't really talked about almost at all on my channel. It's the story called The Boy and the Ghost. And the main character is this 17-year-old boy called Alex. Called Alex? Why didn't I just say named Alex? Anyways, so the premise of the story is there's this boy who he's kind of poor and his uncle is the only one who kind of takes care of him, but he's almost never home, so Alex kind of has to take care of himself. And Alex tries to find many jobs to kind of, you know, get necessary things like food and stuff. But he's very clumsy and not very good at this kind of stuff, so he can't really find a job. So he does the only logical thing. He proceeds to steal stuff. How wonderful! Okay, so I don't think it's gonna be like one day to the next that he starts doing that stuff. It's kind of a gradual thing, but you know, I'm trying to sum it up. So basically he does that for a while and, you know, eventually gets caught. So I imagine he's running away from the police. And I imagine he lives in a very small town or whatever, so he's running away and then he stumbles upon these like old buildings or whatever and they kind of look haunted. Oh wow. Basically, to sum it up, he stumbles upon a ghost, and the ghost is angry at him because Alex accidentally broke one of his things because, you know, he's clumsy. And the ghost kind of sends him to the ghost world on accident because the ghost doesn't even know his own powers. He's like, whoops. So yeah, basically Alex is just trying to find a way to get back home. And I'm thinking at first Alex starts out as this shy kind of boy, but then gradually starts going insane. And in the story, over time, as he's like in the ghost world, his hair starts turning this light blue, but at the start it's like a dark black. So yeah, this is at the start of his story before he's even like in the ghost world. Random, but I'm not really sure why I drew him crying. I don't know, I just feel like that's something he would do. He's just a little emotional. And I feel like throughout the story I kind of want to go into like his, I guess, backstory, but like gradually. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I got for The Boy and the Ghost, and this was Alex. Guys, we are halfway through. I still have characters left to go. Okay, so this story doesn't have a name yet. But I kind of just refer it to the story about like goats and sheeps. I don't know. Because the main character is a goat. Wow! But of course, it's a humanized goat. Furry. Wow, that was really loud. I'm sorry. Anyways, this story is still very much in the works, so there's a lot of stuff that I still don't know. Like, for example, I'm still debating on the main character's name. I'm not sure if it's gonna be Billy or just Bill, because, you know, Billy Goat. I'm so clever. But basically what I have for this story so far is that Bill or Billy, I don't know, and his two family members, which are younger than him, kind of got kicked out of their little tribe slash hometown that they lived in because the main character was being a butt and was being very naughty, and the people of his town is like, hey, yo, you gotta learn your lesson, so we're gonna punish you. And he's like, oh, okay. And his family members, I was gonna say siblings, but like, they're kind of cousins. They kind of just got dragged along too, and they're like, oh man. So basically they had to go on a quest to like kind of figure out what's going on with the food, because once again there's another king. Wow. And a lot of the people that lived in that area were angry with the king because they're like, we're literally starving in the winter, because I'm thinking this takes place in winter, and everybody's like, we need food, our king is being a butt, you need to figure out what's going on. So the main characters, I'm assuming, kind of like go on a quest to figure it out. Oh, and I'm not really 100% sure on the main character's design, but I'm getting there. So if you see him again and he looks a little different, that's why. So yeah, that was Bill or Billy, or his name will be completely different in the future. I don't know. This next story also doesn't have a name, but it's about time and space itself. How wonderful. And also I'm unsure of the main character's name as well. I was thinking about Deja, but I don't know. And surprise, it's a girl this time. All of these characters except Amy have been males. But basically I'm thinking it's like these two kind of universes that are split in half or something. One is about time and one is about space. And the main character and like her kind of little land, I guess, is about space. And so there was kind of a theme in like actual space, like planets and stuff, and kind of like just space, everything space, you know? So I'm thinking she's friends with like some of the royalty or whatever, I don't know, because like I'm thinking that the royalty or kings, whatever, children kind of like play around with her as well. Like they're not kids, they're teens and stuff, but I'm thinking they kind of like grew up together. But basically the premise is that the main characters are being stupid and decided to touch this thing that like you're not allowed to touch, and I'm thinking it's something related to time, which they're like in their it's not planet, I don't know, their thing, it's about space, and so they have this one thing that is related to time, and like it's forbidden to touch it, and it's like, oh, legend has it if you touch it, some stuff happens. So I imagine one of like the cousins of the royalty dared her to touch it, and she's like, alright. So whatever, it kind of gives me like Amphibia vibes. It's kind of similar to what happened in Amphibia if you guys ever watched it. But basically it takes them to this totally different land, because where they used to live before, it was like this floating kind of island in space. Not like literal outer space, but just like in an empty space, and like it very had this certain color scheme and this certain theme. But where they were taken was to this like kind of blank, but I don't know how to explain it. This empty land, I guess, that was consisted of bright red and kind of reminded people of hell, but without the fire and torture. At first, they were like confused. Oh, and they were all separated, so wonderful. But basically, another case of they're trying to get out of that. Man, I have a lot of that like in my stories, like they get taken to another place and they have to try to escape. But yeah, once again, I'm still kind of trying to come up with the story, and there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know, and even the character designs I'm still unsure of. But yeah, this was the story about time and space, and I'm not sure of the names of anything. So moving on to the next story. I remember I made up this character in a video, like on the spot before, and it kind of just came into a story. Well, not came into a story, just made it, whatever. So I've decided that this character will be the main character of the story, because at first, there's these like three little kids that I was like, you know what, one of these kids will be the main character, but I'm like, you know what, the main focus of this story is this other character. Anyways, let me get to the plot already. So basically, I'm thinking this story might take place in Japan. I don't know why I thought about that, but basically there's these three little kids that are probably in like, no, not elementary, primary school? I don't know, but they're like little kids. And I imagine one day after school, one of the kids are like, hey, you know, like there's this rumor that Mr. Nobody exists. And one of them, which is like the smartest one out of the three kids, is like, who the heck is Mr. Nobody? What are you talking about? Basically, one of the kids kind of spreads a rumor that like there's this dude named Mr. Nobody, and he's like, hey, yo, we should try to find him because that'll be super cool. And you know, the whole cliche of like, no, that's gonna be scary, you know? But I imagine they go to try and find him, and like one of the characters thinks this is is baloney and is like, bro, this is not real. Some random person just told you this and you believed it. But lo and behold, they actually found him. Because apparently, like, from rumors, he comes out only at night, and that fact was true. So they found him and they were freaked out. And his name wasn't actually Mr. Nobody. I'm thinking it was a title, but I'm like, oh, maybe his name is like Omen or something. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. But basically, Mr. Nobody is just a very fun dude and likes to play with the children. But the parents find out of his existence one day, and Mr. Nobody's kind of in danger. I imagine that Mr. Nobody or Omen, I don't know, I kind of made up the name as I was drawing this drawing in the video of his name being Omen. So I'm not 100% sure. Random, but his hair kind of looks like cinnamon to me. Anyways, but I feel like he wouldn't have a mouth. That's why he has a mask on or something. So I'm not really sure how he would eat, but whatever. So that was Mr. Nobody, and I'm not really sure what the story will be called, but whatever. Guys, we're almost done. I'm sorry, I've been rambling so much, and like, I'm now realizing that this is a lot. Oh, okay. Anyways, but this one you guys are most likely familiar with. This story is called The Pop-Ups, and the main character is Eddie. I wasn't sure at first which one of the main three were like the main character, but I decided maybe it should be Eddie because, I don't know, I feel like it kind of goes into like Eddie's story and what kind of happened to him when he was younger. I'm not really gonna go into the story because I've already made a video about this story. So once again, I'll leave a link somewhere to the video of the pop-ups so you can watch that. But anyways, oh my gosh, I don't know, I've so wanted to make an animatic of like their story and basically like show their story and like not have like a specific audio for it, like how those little animation memes are, but like kind of just show the story, I guess. I don't know if that made any sense. So I don't know, a friend of mine helped me write like the story in more detail, and I would so love to like actually make it into a thing. But right now I'm kind of busy with other stuff, like other animation related stuff. So I'm not sure when I will do that. But anyways, Eddie, he's my little potato. I don't know, I love him so much. And you know, I feel like I want to give him the vibe that he's like big and scary, but he's just a gentle giant, and like if you were to like hurt him, he wouldn't like hurt you back. He would just sit in the corner and cry. And I'm like, oh no, even though he's almost like 7 feet tall, but whatever. Oh, I should probably explain what's going on with his mouth. So I imagine like his tongue's kind of blue, and his tongue and saliva are kind of mixed together, and like he kind of just drools sometimes and he doesn't even know it. Does kind of look like he's biting something, but you know what, screw it, I don't care. But once again, I'll leave a link to the video of me talking about the pop-ups more, and that was my character Eddie. So this is the next and final character in this video, because those are all my stories so far. We have the story called Ozzy&cloud Guy. And yes, it's a story. If you don't know, I have a few shorts on my channel of them actually being animated and having voices, and I will leave a link to the playlist of like kind of all that animation stuff. So when drawing this, I wasn't sure who would be the main character, Ozzy or Cloud Guy, and I was like, you know what? Ozzy, you could be the main character. So in this video, I'm not going to tell you the story because I'm intending to animate it. Yeah, surprise. So yeah, but Ozzy's just a silly little guy and just happy all the time. And then we got Cloud Guy, he's like, I hate you. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about their story because I don't really want to say like any spoilers or anything. But yeah, I have 10 stories right now. I feel like I'm gonna get more in the future. Oh my gosh, more than 10. I don't know, I can't with that. And some of the stories in this video are like more developed than others, of course, so yeah, they're at different levels. But yeah, sorry I haven't been posting a lot. I don't know, I'm kind of just been in a certain mood recently, so wonderful. So yeah, wow, I did like 10 little illustrations today in this video. Okay, I started doing these drawings I think in February, I want to say, so I've been like kind of working on this video for a while, but like just the drawing portion, I can edit this video in one day. I kind of did. I've been like talking for like 17 minutes straight by myself. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope all of you will have a wonderful day or night. I don't know what time it is for you right now. So yeah, until next time, bye. I just ate a grilled cheese and it was really good. It's the morning for me, and the grilled cheese was like the only thing I've eaten, and I've been awake for like a couple hours, and I was dying of like starvation, and the grilled cheese was amazing. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm kind of brain dead right now. So yeah, banana.